Okay, we'll officially get started. So my name's Saraswati. I'm the owner of Yoga Cooler, and we've been here almost 20 years and luckily made it through the storm, got through the pandemic. I'm just really grateful to be here, and pretty much many of those years we've been so fortunate enough to host Deane. Deane's been doing our anatomy for our trainings and anatomy classes for
I've been involved here with you for
a long time.
20 years.
At
least, right?
Yeah, so I feel really very lucky, and
my little massage room down.
Deane can tell us a little bit more about his background, but he has been on the curious of the body and curious of healthy, happy body for many years, and brings a lot of different modalities that he's studied. And for those of you who've been in his workshops, it's really like a spiritual journey, because he ties in all the different levels and layers of the body. So it's not just learning about, physical body, but it's the emotional body, how the emotions affect the body, how the energy affects the body, how the breath affects the body, which is exactly what we study in our yoga. So it's lovely to have somebody who has that breadth of knowledge and excitement. By the time we get to the end of Deane's seminars, we're like, oh, hallelujah. It's a round of applause. So I'm really excited that Deane is going to be with us. We're going to be really focusing on the hips today, but of course, it is part of the entire body, so everything else will come into that discussion. And we'll be doing our first part with Deane, and he'll be sharing the things that he works with and the ways that he works with his clients or his own body, ways that he works to, keep the hips happy. And then we'll take a little break, and then we'll go through some of the asana, the different ways that we can work with the body, and answer any questions as we go along. So, Deane.
All right, well, I don't come from a yoga lineage, and have not been an intense practitioner of yoga. What I've been involved with and what I want to bring today is the person that I did spend 24 years learning from. His name was Dr. Milton Trager, and he taught the Trager Approach to Bodywork, which has nothing to do with deep penetration or levels of discomfort or just rubbing the oil on for an hour, but it's a deep, gentle, pleasing, curious exploration of the movements of the body, coming up against restrictions and noodling, coming up against a restriction and noodling. It's a self-awareness, curiosity unfolding kind of approach. And that's what I want to bring this morning, is just crawling into our pelvis area and the supportive skeleton and muscular structure around it, with a journey of increasingly fine-grained, attuned sensory awareness. Because sensory awareness is where it all begins. If we are not aware of our limitations, if we don't feel them, we can't change them. And if we don't feel them as we are working, we run into danger and we miss the moments of opening. So overall umbrella of sensory awareness. And this is, for me, the first pillar of self-development and healing. It is the sensory system that guides the motor system. You'll find that out very quickly if you were to Novocaine the bottoms of your feet so you can't feel them. You very quickly discover all of your balance is gone. All of your locomotor confidence and rhythm is gone. If you cannot feel your feet, for instance, you have no way of organizing everything else above them, because the sensory information flowing from your feet is absent. So There are three pillars of self-development in my mind, my experience. And first is sensory awareness. That's where it begins. If we can't feel it, it's essentially not there. And if it's not there, we're at sea. Sensory awareness leads us to our many, many, many mechanisms and ways of self-regulation. And we can't regulate ourselves successfully unless that sensory awareness is there as the beginning platform. And through the practice of developing our self-regulation, we come into a successful mode of adaptation throughout all of our lives, adapting to life's many, many changes and buffets. So it all begins with self-awareness. So I want us to stand, and we will begin a little extensive guided meditation I want us to all go through with waking this area up. Those of you who were with us last week with the anatomy lecture series just saw what a key importance this pelvis is. Muscles that attach to the pelvis go below the knees, and they go all the way up the back and front to the top of the rib cage and blending up into the occiput. So the musculature of the pelvis is like an octopus that is reaching north and south, covering most of our body. More muscles attached to the pelvis than any other bone in the body. The pelvis is the largest and densest bone because it has to be the anchor for virtually all of my balance and all of my control of my body weight in the field of gravity as I go about my business. So I want to begin by just taking a nice deep breath, maybe two. And on the exhale, just let your awareness sink down to the soles of your feet. The soles of your feet are extraordinarily sensitive. They are, that little fatty pad underneath your skin is filled with tens of thousands of pressure-sensitive corpuscles. And I want to find that sensitivity and sensibility of the feet. I'm going to let my weight, my body weight, sway a little bit over my ankles, left to right to begin. And as I sway towards one side and I weight that leg, feel the pressure pattern shifting on the bottoms of those feet. Decreases on one side, increases on the other. And as we increase the weight, swinging out over towards one leg, and we relax the foot enough to let ourselves feel the bone spread as that weight sinks in to the weighted foot. Not a gripping foot, but a nice soft pad of a foot that responds to the weight by spreading. And now I want to take that little sway front to back. And as I swing out over the front of my feet, onto the weighting the balls of my feet, and shifting slowly back to putting my weight on my heels, feeling again the subtle changes of the pattern of pressure on the bottoms of my feet. As I swing forward, feeling the toes respond by pressing down into the floor to hold my balance. As I swing back, feel those toes relax. And forward and back. Now take just a little time on your own curious exploration with side to side, forward to back.